Hello everyone, this is Shahrukh Ali, your host, and I'm back with another episode of my interview series. Today my guest is Hannah from British Columbia. She's a life coach and transformation guide. We will know what is this from her. Uh, let's me give you Hannah. Hi Hannah, how are you?
Hi, I'm very good. How are you doing?
I'm good here.
That's
So
good.
how's the
Thank you.
weather? How's the weather in
Um,
British?
Cold. It's very cold. Yeah, we've had a few weeks of rain and the sun seems to be out. And so in Canada and BC, when the sun is out, it usually means it's very, very cold. So yeah, it's everyone's wearing long johns under their pants, and it's a good time for sweaters, that's for sure.
That's great. That's really great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, how
let's
about you?
begin. Here's a bit cold, but not that much. The
Mm.
centigrade is like around 20 centigrade in the night
Oh,
and
that's nice.
around 25 to 26 centigrade in the morning.
Not too bad. I'll take that weather
Yeah,
any day.
that's why I'm wearing
Mm.
this sweatshirt.
Oh, that's so nice.
Okay, let's begin the interview. Uh, Tell my guest who is Hannah. Brief description about yourself.
Description about me. Well, I think the my favorite thing to say is that my favorite thing to do is dance. I like color and things that are beautiful. So any way that I can add a little bit more color and beauty and joy in my own life, and whenever I have an opportunity to share that with others, is my favorite way to spend my time. And yeah, and along with that, I love to learn and grow and listen to what other people have to say. That's what I've been spending a lot of my time doing these days, is just getting to know different people and particularly learning about different cultures around the world and how um, different and the same we all are. I find that to be very, very fascinating. So I find like whenever I have an opportunity to listen to someone and just hear their stories, it just makes my brain light up inside, and it just brings me a lot of joy. So those are some of my favorite things that are, keeping me busy these days.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, you have mentioned in your profile that you are a life coach.
Yes.
Can you tell my audience what is a life coach?
Yeah. So a life coach is someone who works with you on your goals. So a lot of us are walking through life, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but some people have lots of money and they're miserable. Some people have nice clothes and they're miserable. Some people have something in their life. They may have lots of great friends, yet they're still feeling this sense of like, I want more in my life. Or, it's just this sense of there's got to be something more out there for me, or I know that there's more inside of me and I'm wanting to experience more of that in my life. um, and so working with a coach is someone who helps you get clear on what it is that you want more of in your life, and or if you want a certain area of your life to be better and more enjoyable, and more fulfilling. It's common to work with a life coach to help you make progress on those things. um, and one of the best examples I can give you is, it's sort of like we're walking around. A lot of us are walking around life as like in a pillowcase, or it's this perception that we're in a pillowcase or this invisible jail of like these conditions that we've set for ourselves or these limitations that we've put on ourselves. And we're walking through life going like, why can't I really cross over? Why isn't anything getting better for me? I feel so trapped. Or we have beliefs that tell us that we're trapped in the experiences that we're in. And so a life coach might help you um, gain that understanding that we can look at the same things with a different perspective, and you can realize that there's a lot more potential and a lot more freedom available for you to live a more fulfilling life. And so I have there's this one picture I love. It's one of my favorites. And it's of this cat in a box. So the cat's in the box and it's got the cage door in the front, and the cat is like stuck inside this box. And but there's no lid. There's no covering over the lid of this box that the cat is in. And so it kind of says like this is what it's like to do life coaching. Like a life coach is someone who says like, hey, look up. And you realize there's no lid on the box and you can just climb out and the rest of the world is yours. So that's sort of the way life coaching is, a lot of us are just kind of stuck in these boxes and we don't really often see the way out. And a life coach just helps you open to your eyes to the potential that's there and how easy and simple it is to look up and, take those steps forward into a life that's more meaningful and fulfilling for you.
That's great.
Yeah.
We all just want to look up just in our lives. Okay, tell me,
Yeah.
what is a transformation guide? Is it different
Yes.
from life coach?
It's fairly similar. When I'm doing transformational work, it's usually something I do with clients who've been with me for a little bit longer or who have done a little bit more growth on themselves, because we go quite deep, and we do so in a shorter period of time. So when I'm doing life coaching, I might see someone for an hour at a time, maybe once a week. When I'm doing transformational work, we are spending more time together and we're going way, way deeper into the self, into our understanding, into our belief systems. So one of the best ways I like to describe transformations is, if I can ask you to imagine an onion, right? If you imagine peeling an onion, there's as we all know, there's many layers to an onion. And so transformational work is, I kind of break them down into little stages. So we take it one layer of the onion at a time, and we're unraveling and getting deeper and deeper to the core of whatever the challenges are within an individual and what they're wanting to experience. And so as we go deeper and deeper, we often kind of find that we're going through the same transformation. So it doesn't really matter who comes to see me, whatever the issue is that they're coming to work on. When we do the transformational work, we always seem to be going through a very similar process of coming to this core experience of self. And slowly, we start letting go of needing to hold on to the things around us. We start to let go of the actual idea of like a self, and these ideas and perceptions that we have. It's like everything just kind of starts to melt away, and we start becoming a being, sometimes a part of existence. So it's like the deeper and deeper we go, it's like almost like the less and less we feel like ourselves, and we start to really feel this deep connection to all things, and we start to coexist in our realities. That's probably one of the most simple ways to describe something that can be fairly complicated and depthy.
And definitely, you explain it in very simple language.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm getting better and better at this.
No, I find you are really good at your profession, practitioner.
Thank you so much.
So, what attracts you to become a life coach?
Yes, what attracts me to become a life coach? Well, since I was a child, I've always had a deep sense of caring for others. As a child, I was my eyes were always widely open and thinking about others around the world and how we could help. And growing up, I've always been a very, very unique person. I've never been someone who ever fit in any kind of box. And so when I think anyone who resembles any kind of difference, and we all do in some way or fashion, but for me, that was sort of the rule. Like the rule was my difference. It wasn't like an exception of like, oh, I'm kind of different in this way. Like in almost every way, I was just different to everything. And, growing up, when you don't have a support system that encourages you and teaches you how to nurture that difference, it can feel quite isolating, and it can stop us from really reaching into the power and the potency that uniqueness does have. And so I remember the very few people who really helped me to understand that where it felt okay to be different. And those people really impacted my life in a really beautiful and powerful way. And so I actually went for my teacher training to become a special needs teacher, because I wanted to be that one person who helped every child feel seen and heard, and not only seen and heard, but respected as an individual person, and to help them thrive in their difference. So I spent many, many years being someone who would look past someone's behavior. Because when you're working with special needs children, they often have like bizarre behaviors that most people just don't understand. And I always saw behavior as a language. And so if you're special needs or if you're different, language works and communication happens in very different ways. And you need to be able to like read through the lines. You can't just go like, oh, that person's bad, or like they have, they're acting out with a temper, or like they just yelled at their friend, they're a horrible kid and they're bad. It's like, no, that child is communicating that they are struggling with something, and that behavior isn't asking for help, and they're needing nurturing and guidance. And so in this work, I developed a lot of patience. I learned a lot about human behavior. I learned a lot about interdependence, about working together. And I just kind of kept driving that forward. And then I kept working with larger and larger groups of children. And I started learning more and more that, like, wow, I'm getting to observe children. It was like getting a close-up view of how we are and why we are the way we are as humans, and what we're all seeking. And what I like just started noticing is that we were seeking, human connection. We want to be understood. We wanted to be a part of. We want intimacy. And it was really, really basic. And then so I kept chewing away here and going, well, how do I create this harmony for everyone? Like, we have a group of 25 children here. How do we help them to get along? How do we help them to be compassionate and respectful of all of the differences that were in one space? Because we had to work together. Like it didn't matter if you didn't like each other. Eating times when we needed to eat, if we needed to go around the neighborhood, if we needed to get something done, like we only have 2 adults in a group, and we have all these people. Like, how are we going to do this? And so working in an environment like that, I learned a lot of skills, and I learned, again, I'm just repeating, I learned so much about human behavior and what it really took to create harmony. Since we were just constantly, like the main thing I taught was harmony between relationships, and the children are fighting or they're disagreeing and someone's feelings got hurt, and they're all ready to duke it out. We'd always like sit down, and I would coach the children, and we would communicate. So they all learned. It was very boring when we fought and we asked Hannah for help, because she would sit down and make us all like talk to each other and take turns, and she would listen and I would help interpret. And we just kept clarifying and clarifying and clarifying, like, what is the need that's missing here? What is it that we need? What is missing? How are we feeling? So there's a lot of emotional intelligence work that we did, and it kept working, and it kept getting better and faster, and the children started to thrive. And so at some point, I always knew that I wanted to move into working with adults, because I said adults need this too. Like, adults are just big children running children's programming that has never had a teacher to sit down with them and teach them how to like build those skills and get through it, to get what they wanted with others, and to respect and honor what others needed. So, hey. And so yeah, it just kind of kept pursuing, and eventually I went and did my coach training, and I started working with the adults, and it was It was wonderful. It was easier to work with adults because they had a bit more maturity than a child does. So I found that, like, even though I have a lot of training to be a coach in a lot of different ways, the best training I got was from being a teacher and realizing that just adults are just big children and they needed the same things that the children in my class needed to thrive in life. And so the more I kept seeing my clients excel and do well in whatever they were doing, it just kept motivating me to keep going. So that's sort of the roundabout way of how, I got into coaching. Is I just wanted to see every person thrive in their very unique way that they are themselves, and to not have to be fitting and themselves into any boxes, but to really have an understanding of who I am is okay. And this lifetime is about learning how to help me or you be okay in that unique way that you are, and leverage that unique way you are to thrive in your life and to thrive cohesively with your community around you. Because we're not just on our own. We live in community. We live and share our lives with others, whether it's at work, in your house, in your family, in your romantic relationships. We are in community. That's how we thrive in this world. And so I've always just been very passionate about, like, how can we create this harmony and compassion for ourselves and for the difference that is around us.
Let me tell you, Hannah, you are doing a perfect job. You are doing wonderful. This
Thank
profession
you
is
so much.
really good. You are in it. Definitely.
Thank
Okay,
you.
let me
Yeah, it feels
tell
like the
you.
right place to be.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, I really see people are really depressed nowadays in the world, throughout the
Mm-hmm.
world,
Yeah.
due to some reasons everyone had. So I would like to you to give some little advice to the concerned people, like people are suffering from the pandemic COVID-19. What do you give them advice?
Mm. So I think that if you are struggling right now, the most potent thing that you can do for yourself is to reconnect with your creativity. Creativity is something that can never be taken away from you. It's a core expression, and it's personalized. It's something that's just for you. Um, and there's something, how do you say this? Creativity can be really purposeful, but it can also be purposeless, which means, like, it's just for the pleasure of, just for the sake of it. Um, so it's like, even if that's poetry, if it's cooking, if it's, parenting your children in a unique way. Like, I've seen my sister who has twins. She's so creative. She's, like, just been finding new creative ways to entertain her daughters at the grocery store and making everything a game. Like, so you can be creative in the most simple ways, like even just doing your dishes and being like, how can I, like, make this a bit more special? Like, maybe, you're connecting with the bubbles, and, like, you just get really lost in the moment of, like, whatever it is that you're in. So creativity is this really fundamental element of our lives that shows up everywhere. But there's this, like, I don't know, we've had, like, our eyes somehow, like, closed off to the power and potency of creativity, which is, kind of pairs simultaneously with the power and potency of being present in our lives. So whenever we're being creative, we're truly in the moment. So when we're depressed, it's typically because we're looking at the past. We're looking at the past, or we're stressing about the future. So anxiety is commonly, we're stressed about the future. Depression is typically we're upset about the past, or we're overwhelmed. We're going both ways. We're just, like, anxiety about the future and we're looking back on the past. But I don't know if you've noticed here, but none of what I'm saying is being in the moment. None of what I'm saying is about being present. So if we can be present and in the moment truly, like, you will experience peace and happiness, even if it's just for those moments. And we can find that in anything. So whenever we are creating, we cannot create without being fully immersed in the moment that we're in. So that's one of the simplest ways I can tell you if you want to find peace in your life. And we can add meaning to that, and we can add more purpose to it by tapping into yourself. What is your most fulfilling form of creative expression? So COVID has been this like very special time to reconnect with our purpose and passions. And yeah, I'll probably pause there, but there's that's one of the things I do as a coach is I help people return to their authentic version of their own creativity. And again, like I said, it's like creativity isn't just painting, it's not just drawing, it's not just writing. Creativity is everything. And so yeah, that's like a big part of what I do, and why what I do works so well is because I help my clients bring their awareness to the creativity that they can awaken and alive in every element or every area of their life, which is very, very fulfilling, and creates a lot of peace. And when we create more peace in ourselves, don't know if you've heard of like the laws of attraction, but there's something magical that happens when we start tapping into that kind of energy and that kind of sweetness. It's like as if the world magically hears your song, hears your vibration, and starts to catch it. It just starts to, everything just starts to like open up, and you start just being received by the world in a different way, and you start seeing your problems in a different way. And when your mind is open, you think of more ideas, you come up with better solutions to your lame old problems that you've been doing the same thing every day is like the definition of insanity. So creativity just like opens everything up to you. So it's like regardless of the situation that you're in, creativity is going to open up doors for you could have never imagined, or never could bring up if you're worrying about the future or you're depressed about the past. So that's probably one of the most profound and simple ways to generate more peace in your life at any time.
That's great. Okay,
Thank you.
let's make switch this interview to a lighter mood. Let's talk about dance.
Dance. Oh my
All,
gosh.
all your friends know that you are a really good dancer. So dance is a must discuss topic in the interview. So tell me something about dance. What it gives you? Does it feel joy? Give you joy or something?
Does it give me dry? I missed that.
Does dance give you? What does give you?
What does
Why you dance?
dance give me? Okay, why do I dance? Oh my gosh. Dance is my medicine. It is what I express everything through dance. Like anything that I'm going through, any blocked energy, frustration, stress, like blocks of creativity, like everything that's like not working in my life, I get to express on my dance floor. And I can't explain. This is like my time with God. This is my time with spirit. This is my time with myself. This is my time to like drink in and spit out, the energy of the universe that just kind of like channels through me. So dance is my favorite art form. I mean, like I'm creative when I work with my clients. I'm creative in all of my work. And so that's one of the reasons that like my life feels really fulfilling is I'm creative in everything that I do. But when I'm creative through dancing, oh my gosh, my world disappears. But becomes everything at the same time. Like I just feel, I don't know, it's like also like my blessing. It's the way that I pray. It is the way that I set intentions. I think of everyone in the world when I dance. And when I dance, I'm dancing for everyone. I'm dancing for everyone's blocked creativity. I'm dancing for everyone's pain. I'm so sensitive and I feel everything. I'm constantly absorbing the energies around me. I'm very empathic. I'm very sensitive that way. And so for me, dance is that like blessing that out and just being like, I feel you all. I feel you and I feel you in this dance. So it's like when I dance, it's like it's not just about me. It's like I'm channeling everyone. I'm channeling, yeah, what everyone is going through in the world, and I just send out love and peace and freedom and expression and authenticity. And so for me, dancing is like air. It's like water. Um, it's the best. And so that's why a big part of my work is I actually do dance therapy as well to help people open up their energy centers and unblock the stress and their pain inside their bodies. And you don't need to be a dancer. Like I'm a self-taught dancer. And so the way that I train my body is the way that I help others open up their bodies too. Because most people actually can dance and they can move. It's just that they've not been sort of in a position to take that risk or to feel safe enough. Because to express through the body, like we must feel psychologically safe. That's so important. And there's so much judgment out there, and we have so much judgment for ourselves. So that's one of the things I help people do is kind of get into that space where, you know, I can do that energy work with them and help them open up their body in a way that like opens up their heart center and loosens the stress in the neck, and you know gets their bodies nutrients even to flow, blood to flow, and you know their vibrant authentic energy and self starts to shine through again. So this gift doesn't only happen from myself, but like I know how to share this, and I use this gift to help bring out that beauty in others as well, so that they can experience themselves in a very free way in their lives as well. Dance, do it, do
That's really nice.
it. Yeah,
That's really
dance and
nice.
music,
Do
dance
it.
and music. Do it,
You
do
can
it, dance.
online, yeah, you can definitely do this in online academy, like by joining different people together and they all dance together. It will be a great magic. I can imagine that.
Yeah. Well, I never do just dance. It's never just dance. There's so much more to it. Like the like I do dance, but when I work with others, we're doing it's it's energy clearing and also coaching. So we're doing a few modalities of healing work or stress release work, however, you know, whatever language connects with you. But essentially, we're releasing stress through the body in a way that's very direct. I know exactly what I'm doing when I work with people. I'm very specific in what I ask them to do and why. And whenever I work with people over the screen, I can see what is going on with their energy, and I can see where they're blocked. And I can, you know, when I connect with them, I'll direct them in a way that helps them to open up those parts of the body. And it's something about like saying the right thing in the right moment, just kind of allows that thing to like pop open. And there's this whoo, whoo, and
Mm.
you know, and these sessions, like a lot of people will cry. They have like it's not a joke what happens. It's like there's incredible release, which is very healing and very freeing. Um, and yeah, this is just like working with energy. Like we're all energetic beings. We have energy stuck inside. We have energy that needs to be released. And when we get the right combination of things, it's amazing how much we can open ourselves up and release that stagnancy in like a very short period of time. It's very powerful.
Okay, Hannah. And the last,
Mhm.
I would like to ask you to give some advice for the people
Mhm.
who are searching or struggling for happiness and joy. what you can advise them? A short advice.
Mm, I think it would be to find joy in seemingly meaningless things. An example that might be like even just enjoying the bubbles when you're doing the dishes, or the clouds, a peak of sun comes through the clouds and you just take that second to like feel it on your face. Or I think the most powerful thing I could say to everyone, aside from reconnecting with your own creativity, is to find some compassion for yourself in your imperfections, in the things that are imperfect in others as well. And to just find whatever it is that you're holding on to tightly and ask for the compassion and the strength to loosen the grip. And if you're really brave, to even let it go. Because there's so much freedom in just letting go and letting, life, let people live and let live, let go and let God. Um, there's incredible freedom in surrender to the things that we can't control. And then asking for the grace and the wisdom to focus on what you can. And the best way you can do that is to just like be in the moment that you're in. And that's where it's like we can the more that we're in the moment, the more that we can find joy and peace in seemingly irrelevant things. And I think that's where a lot of our joy comes from, is just letting go and being where you are and learning to love where you are, regardless of what is going on around you.
Such a lovely message. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. How can people, if they need your service, how can the people reach out to you? What is the way?
You can jump onto my website, and I have a session. There's a tab that you can click on to book a time to speak with me. And so all you need to do to prepare for that call, it lets you state the country that you're in, the time zone that you're in, and I'm just going to ask some really basic questions as to like what is bringing you in to see me, if you've ever worked with anyone before, and then I'll call you at the number that you provide, and then we get you started there. You can also reach out to me if you'd like to do any of my group programs as well. I work with women and men doing the energy work, working with the blockages. So with men, we're doing a lot of anger release of all of those things that you couldn't have if you're a man and you're not, having sex, or you've been rejected in your life. There's a lot of things that happen that are just like really frustrating that we can't control. They get like pent up and stuck, and this energy comes out in really unhealthy ways that can be very destructive. So I work with men to teach them how to express that energy and get it out in a way that's like incredibly healthy, incredibly safe for them, and to build that honor in brotherhood as well. So it's a very powerful program. And for women, it's a very similar thing as well. There's just like a lot that women don't get to say. We don't get to express. We don't know how to say no. And it's very, very powerful for women to be able to actually like step into that power and express and use their voice, and find that there's great gentleness on the other side of like very strategically expressing very big energy that is often rejected and neglected in our daily lives. So a lot of the programs that I offer make space for the unsaid to be said, the unexpressed to be expressed, so that you can go and be healthy and thrive in your relationships and everything else that you need to stand for in your life, with much more freedom and peace in your mind, your body, and your spirit.
That's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah. And you can also just, if you do have me on Facebook too, if you need anything, you can just send me a private message if any of that sounds too complicated, and I can get you set up with a meeting time that way as well.
And that's so nice of you. Okay, let's conclude this interview. It was really nice having you in the show. It was really nice
Thank you
talking
so
to you.
much.
learned something very important, very good things from you. So I conclude my show. Thank you for your time you gave me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you so
Hannah.
much for having me. And thank you everyone for being here and watching. And
Bye
bye.
bye.
We'll see you next time.